Breaking news, guys. Tim Draper just schooled the Argentine president on Bitcoin, even tried to make him replace the Argentine peso with Bitcoin as national currency. Now, this sounds like a dream come true, I'd be the first to admit. But let's try to think about this a little more deeply. By the way, I got this info from a reliable source, La Nación, which is the leading daily newspaper of Argentina. So anyway, intro. Hello Crypto Gang, welcome to another LamboLife video. So I'm not gonna take much of your time as this was an unplanned video, just a headline that caught my attention. So Tim Draper went to Argentina to have some fun. Apparently he had some business in the country. His fund hosted an annual meeting in Buenos Aires.
When Satoshi Nakamoto made a token perfecto, no fiction.
He also happened to meet the president Mauricio Macri and gave him some world-changing advice, emphasis on world-changing. In an interview with La Nación, this is what he said, and I quote, "Hablamos del Bitcoin y la devaluación del peso." Wait, Tim Draper speaks Spanish? Nah, they translated it. I'll translate it back for you. We talked about Bitcoin and the devaluation of the peso, and I proposed a bet. If the peso was valued more than Bitcoin, I double the investment I am making in the country. And if Bitcoin acquires more value than the peso, he had to declare Bitcoin as national currency. Okay, did that give you goosebumps? I don't want to give you false hope, so I'm telling you now. Don't take this bet too seriously, but it's not insignificant either. Let me tell you why. Tim Draper wanted the president to see the value Bitcoin could bring to his nation if he made it the national currency. Not only that, he also suggested to make the Wi-Fi better, and the rest will sort itself out.
Would you like to tell us what did you talk with President Macri today?
I suggested that he make Bitcoin a national currency and to bring in 5G and let the market just figure it out and build all the roads and everything else for him, because they will. Because everybody's going to come here if we've got if he's made the decision to go Bitcoin and 5G, that could end up being just phenomenal, and globally people will start saying, I'm going to Argentina to start my business.
So as you heard, his advice to the president was to make Bitcoin national currency and bring in 5G technology. And with this Bitcoin 5G combo, foreign companies will come to Argentina and build their businesses, thus make the country flourish. He later admits that the bet with the president was a joke. However, President Macri did say that he is going to investigate Bitcoin and determine if it makes sense to make it his country's national currency. Now, suppose the president really decides to declare Bitcoin as legal tender for Argentina. Why not? Bitcoin is already popular there. Their public transport accepts Bitcoin for payments in 37 cities. Their government used Bitcoin to settle an export deal with Paraguay. Well, obviously there's a lot of reasons, volatility being one of them. So is the fact that most people have no idea what Bitcoin is. I mean, what it really is. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see this happen. Because if this won't trigger a bull run, nothing will. But we must approach this pragmatically. Do you think the president of Argentina is desperate enough to make this big a risk? It is a big risk. Here's why. If Bitcoin replaces their peso, surely the Bitcoin market would pump. I'd say it would be an easy 500k per coin the next day of announcement. Great news! The country just became that much richer. But hold on, since when was the crypto market ever sensible? Since when did it pump and not crash? Volatility is fine as long as it keeps a consistent upward curve. That's not a problem. But what always happens is this. The price shoots to the moon, but not only that, it goes beyond the real valuation due to hype. When world-breaking news like that happens, the mass hysteria and exuberance set in. Speculators will grow and become more extreme. People will say ridiculously optimistic things, make all sorts of groundbreaking predictions. Bitcoin to 10 trillion, quadrillion. The bull run last 2017 will seem like a joke in comparison. And that will be our downfall. Another crash. And what happens if a whole economy depends on Bitcoin not crashing? Because let me tell you guys, as much as I love Bitcoin and I hate to admit this, Bitcoin is just not ready for that level of worldwide adoption tomorrow. I mean, a country declaring it as a national currency? Now's not the best time. Bitcoin cannot handle that many transactions per day. I'm not just talking about all the people in Argentina using Bitcoin, because the rest of the world would also take part, and that would overload the network. People should take network congestion seriously. Yes, there is Lightning Network. I even made a video explaining that if the 2017 bull run happens this year, Lightning will likely be able to support it. But that's different. That's different from a whole country using Bitcoin as legal tender. That would be a headline that lasts for weeks, probably months. The hype would reach berserk levels. Now this video is not all negative. If I were the president of Argentina, this is what I would do. Rather than decide to make Bitcoin national currency just like that, I would rather take a slightly conservative but more sound approach. How about we declare a transition period, say 3 to 5 years, a transition between the Argentine peso to be replaced by Bitcoin as national currency. That would send a message to the world saying, hey, we are welcoming innovations from people of all nations to our country and want to take part in the global decentralized movement. But we would like to take it one step at a time while Bitcoin is still being improved on. Come bring your business. Because Bitcoin is under heavy development right now by different companies and organizations. Scalability, privacy, fungibility, some of the features Bitcoin needs to improve, and it's getting there. But if 500 million people get into Bitcoin tomorrow, hell, not even the Lightning Network can do a damn thing. It just can't handle the load, and people will complain again that Bitcoin is slow and the fees are expensive while Lightning doesn't work anymore. But fast forward 2 years from now, I'm sure things would be way better. And perhaps Bitcoin as national currency can become a reality. It's a good thought. Just remember, the only thing certain is that the president will look into it. He hasn't decided anything yet. We'll see what happens in the coming months. The next election for Argentina will be on October this year. I wonder what the president decides to do. Damn, it feels good to be in crypto. That's it for this video. If you value my work, please consider subscribing or tipping me. I'm gonna be here for the long haul. See you on the flip side.